it would have been in their final stages to post, because they would have screamed and be like, "Oh, we not posting this shit."
Doing this.
But because he a man, you know, they let him get away with some shit. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to. Are you centered, or do you got a lot of space on your right side? I think you got a lot of space on your right side. And I ain't got that much.
Over?
Yeah, slide. Well, the table, we in the center of the table. Maybe I need to just even that out a little bit. All right, what's going on, beautiful people? How you doing? I am Wesley.
And I am Adrian Kennan.
And as you see, yes, this is 2G2S, but we are missing one of each, okay? Chris is on vacation with family, and Enrique is handling some personal business. So, we definitely will miss them, but I felt that it was very, very important to weigh in on this particular topic. The name of this video is called Dear Dave Chappelle. ... Right? Because there's so much that can come after that. And Adrian is a straight, cisgender woman. Yes.
I'm a straight woman, yes.
Oh, she don't like the cis part.
I don't.
Yes. But yes, it means the same thing, but she don't like that cis stuff. And I am a gay, cisgender male, right? This video about to go all over the place. First of all, let me say,
buckle up, y'all.
Don't be. I can't tell you how to feel. No. Okay, I can't tell you how to feel, but the intention behind this video is not to further offend or to offend anyone, right? This is an open discussion between a straight woman and a gay man. We're gonna keep it cute and quick and simple on that. Mm-hmm. And we're just gonna see how we come out the inside of it. Now, first, I want to start off with the definition of something. Okay, so it's just not just us and our feelings and how we interpret stuff.
Okay.
The definition of this, because I was interested. It piqued my interest, right?
The definition of what?
The definition of a woman.
Oh, God.
Right? So, it says, you heard that huff, baby, that huff. It said an adult female person, a woman belonging to a particular category as by birth, residence, membership, or occupation, usually used in combination, counts a woman. Womankind, distinctively feminine nature, womanliness, a woman who is a servant or a personal attendant. Okay, let's see. Merriam-Webster says a woman or a girl, a female person, an animal that can produce young or lay eggs, a female animal, a plant that can produce seed or fruit, a female plant. Very interesting, right? Left up to interpretation, if you ask me. Let's look at the definition of female. Definition of female: a female person, a woman or a girl, an individual of the sex that is typically capable of bearing young or producing eggs. A pistillate plant. Okay, we're gonna leave that up to interpretation. I'm gonna leave it on the table. That's not my definition. That's not her definition. That's Merriam and I think there's Webster and then
Merriam and Webster.
Orthodox or whatever. Those are the definitions that they have, right? So when I look at that, when I read those definitions, it's pretty much left up to interpretation. Now, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he was like, I think they changed the definition to meet everybody's standards nowadays, but it ain't always say that. I don't know, because I didn't look up the definition 50 years ago based on Merriam-Webster, but that's the definition today. My next thing is, Adrian, did you watch the Dave Chappelle special?
Yes.
Okay. My second question is, were you offended by anything that was in the Dave Chappelle special?
Offended? No.
Okay. So I'm going to answer the same questions, and my response is yes, I did watch this special. I watched it twice. And was I offended? No. Okay. So now my third question is, do you see where people could have been offended by watching the Dave Chappelle special?
I don't, no, I can't see it, personally.
Okay. And so my response to that is yes, I do see where people could have been offended. Now let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So what did you see in the special? I only seen it once. I wanted to see it again just for this, for our conversation here today, but I ended up in a very deep conversation with a friend, talking about this special.
Okay.
And so I didn't get the chance to rewatch it again before coming here today.
Okay.
But I do want to know, since you was able to see it twice and you were able to probably see it with fresh eyes, because you always see it with fresh eyes the second time, or there's always something that you didn't see from the first time that you can catch on the second. That's like in anything that you watch, whether it's a TV show, a movie, or in this case, comedy special. So what was it that you thought that could be offensive to someone?
Yeah. So the first joke was out of pocket. I was like, whoa, what? He nutted in somebody's face and was like, oh, I like that, whatever he said. But I was just like, how is the first joke about molestation? And so from that first joke, I was like, oh, okay, that's what this is going to be. And the interesting thing about Dave Chappelle in this particular comedy special, because I haven't seen every Dave Chappelle thing. I saw the one before this though. He ends it by saying, oh yeah, I'm going there and I'm not done yet. He says that on just about every topic that he talks about in the special. Oh yeah, I'm going there and I'm not done yet. So after the molestation thing, I was like, all right, so this is what this is about to be about. Okay, cool. Then
can you run that joke again? Because I don't remember. Oh, I should have kept this on silent. And guess who it is? Too bad he couldn't come here today.
That was Enrique?
No, that was Benjamin.
Oh, he would have. Yeah, that would have been.
I was trying to call him to see if he could come today.
Oh.
That's why he's calling me back.
And he don't live far.
I know. Okay, that's why I was trying to see if I could get him to come. But anyways, look how long it took for him to call me.
Right. So, you were saying.
Okay. Can you and as close to the joke as possible, because for some reason I don't remember a molestation joke.
So that's why I'm like, yeah.
So that's why I'm like, wait.
So don't kill me, right? Because I'm not gonna be specific. I'm a paraphrase. Yeah, I'm a paraphrase. But what I got from the joke was he had made mention that he was, the way I took it was that he was a victim of being molested, and he was poking fun at the concept of being molested, saying that for him, he had enjoyed nutting in the preacher's face. And so when he said that, I was like, I was like, huh? And I was like, oh, that's where we going with this. Okay, interesting. Because he started off about molestation and how he was like, what, you don't get a kick out of nutting in his face? Or something about nutting in the preacher's face, right? And that he was molested when he was young.
Okay, so not that molestation is funny.
Right.
But sometimes comedians, and I'm not trying to take up for him or not, but a lot, I can speak on molestation because I've been molested. So I can speak on it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, with the face. Like, y'all not gonna be telling me. I can't have no opinion on this because I went through it. Goddamn it.
I'm ready.
So
Let's
I can
go.
talk.
Let's ready. I'm ready. But no, seriously. There has been times. Have I joked about it specifically? Maybe no, not as specific. My specific molestation, maybe not. But sometimes when it comes through pain, you can find some type of way to laugh through some of your pain. Mm-hmm. Okay, so because he was talking about his own pain mm-hmm. and what he did himself, mm-hmm. I don't feel like that was something that was offensive. Because, like I said, I was molested too, and if it was his own thing, mm-hmm. and he found some kind of way to laugh about it, mm-hmm. because that is something. If you become molested, raped, any of those things, that is a traumatizing thing that is really hard to get over. And even to this day, even though this happened when I was a very young child, to this day it still affects me. Mm-hmm. So if you find some kind of way to laugh through your pain, I can't fault him for that. Mm-hmm. And for him to be able to do that, and I look at it as like, wow, you're able to do something mm-hmm. like that on such a big platform. Like, I could talk about my molestation. I could probably talk about it on here. Am I going to? Probably not. But he was able to do it on such a huge platform, and like billions of people is probably going to see this. I mean, Netflix is a worldwide. This is not a small stage here. And for him to be able to release some of his pain and laugh at it a little bit, or find some type of comedy from it, and because now that you mentioned it, I'm glad you broke down that joke a little bit, because I didn't remember it with the first time you tried to describe it. But when you broke it down a little bit, I'm like, oh yeah, he did say that. And it's like, oh well, okay, I can understand if, I guess, that somebody might say, wait, you're not supposed to laugh at something like that. But most people, well, I ain't gonna say most, I'm gonna say people like me who has been several years from it. Obviously he's older than me, and this happened to him as a young child as well. That might be his way of getting over it. And it's not saying that it's a good thing, but let's talk about this even further. I remember Oprah saying something about her being molested, and saying that that, you know, when you're molested, if the perpetrator is doing it right, it will feel good. So you feel bad because you're like, whoa, what's going on here? I don't like this. This is against my will. But you kind of find yourself wanting it to happen because it is pleasurable. You know, the actual physical, if they do it right, is going to feel some type of pleasurable. So it's like it's a bad and a good thing at the same time, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? But then you find yourself wanting it because, hey, I don't know how to make this button work, or whatever, you know, not button, but you know, make this thing feel like this. And I remember Oprah saying this long time ago: if the perpetrator do it right, it's going to feel good.
Okay, so you wouldn't have felt the offense to that. And I can understand where you're coming from. A lot of people do seek to laugh to laugh the pain away. The second joke that he said that had me look at the screen like, what? When he basically said that Magic Johnson was the poster child for AIDS, because he considered himself to be the poster child for COVID, because when he had got COVID, he didn't feel anything. Nothing happened to him. And so I got from that segment that he was talking about people out here getting vaccinated and all that. And he got vaccinated just because he had to, I guess. But even when he had the virus, he didn't feel anything. Nothing happened to him. He was fine. He was cool. He was walking around like nothing. Everything was great. And he was the poster child for, like Magic Johnson was the poster child for AIDS. He was the poster child for COVID. Because, you know, people looked at Magic Johnson, Lord
Magic.
Jesus.
Come on,
MJ, like he must not have it, because he running around here looking good and healthy, and ain't, you know, I remember back in the day when I felt like that. I was like, he got what? Looking like what, huh? So what medicine he taking? Because this was before PrEP. This was before like all the medicines that are out here today got people living long lives. And for a while, I remember, as a black gay man in America, thinking that one day or a couple days, wow, he got it, but he looked tremendous. There must be a cure. There must be a cure.
That was the point of the joke. Right. Okay, so just like you said, first of all, I think he said HIV, because I don't think Magic Johnson has AIDS. I think he has HIV. Okay. But I think the point of the joke is what you just said.
Real quick, I don't even think he even mentioned HIV or AIDS. He just said, "I'm the Magic Johnson of COVID." I think that's what he said. I'm the Magic Johnson of COVID,
which is in reference to Magic Johnson having HIV. Right. He's HIV positive. Right. And I mean, the joke landed right because the joke landed right for me, because I understood what he meant by that. Because hey, he got sick and nothing happened to him, and it's like a bunch of other people, unfortunately, you know, died of it. There's a whole spectrum of people who end up getting COVID. There's a whole lot that goes on for the different types of people. Some people unfortunately die. Some people are close to death. Some people are still dealing with it because it's called long COVID for some people. Then some people is just as, blessed as him, and he walking around and feeling just fine, and he didn't have any symptoms. But I understood the joke because
I got it,
we all kind of,
you felt like that
especially in the black community.
You thought about that?
Like, huh? Everybody, because at that time, that was the early 90s.
Everybody was dying.
That was the early 90s.
Getting sick or looking frail.
Everybody who caught it at that time, they end up dying. I don't know if there's too many people that's like Magic Johnson still living from the early 90s getting it. So it's kind of like, what did he do? So I kind of got it. The joke landed for me.
I understand what he was saying right away. I understood what he was saying right away. For me, I was like, whoa. And even after he said that, he was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. He kept saying it. He was looking at the screen like that's what he's doing the whole thing. Everything down from the space Jews to white women looking horrible when they get older.
Wait.
To LGBT. He kept saying LGBTQ wrong. He kept stuttering on it. He kept he couldn't get it out. And I don't know if that was on purpose or he just literally kept messing it up.
I'm surprised he didn't call it alphabet people again. Keep going.
Yeah. And then all the way to which to me felt like a 45-minute segment on trans.
It felt like it.
It felt like the rest of more than 50% of the whole set was about trans people. That's what I felt. And so, again, neither one of us were offended by anything that was said in this Dave Chappelle special. But my question now, as we segue into, because he said, I want to be clear, he talked about everybody in the special, for me, except
white men.
No, for me, I felt like he talked about everybody except black men. Okay. I felt like he talked indirectly to black men, but he specifically spoke about everybody else. That's how I feel. How do you feel? Now that you say it, you're right. Okay. In retrospect. Okay. Yeah. So, because he named names. I mean, he referenced Martin Luther King, but he didn't talk about Martin Luther King. He said, what if Martin Luther King was in an era where they was like wearing booty shorts and stuff like that, because gay people seem to be breaking ground and making waves faster than black people did during the civil rights movement. So that was his stick, but he didn't talk about Martin Luther King. But he talked about Mike Pence, and he talked about Caitlyn Jenner, and he talked about a lot of people. But anyways, so going into the trans situation, right? And it's a situation because everybody's making it one. A lot of people are. Again, if you're trans watching this video, I can't tell you how to feel, nor am I trying to tell you how to feel. But hopefully it opens a dialogue underneath the comments. Please, if anything else, don't be negative and don't be disrespectful. That's the word I'm looking for, right? Because it's all about a dialogue. And I wish we had some trans sisters that we could have had on this. And I only know of one, and she always busy. So it just them chicks. It is what it is. But that's what I wanted to say. I don't know when comedy, and maybe it's always been like this, I just never seen them. But I'm attracted to comedy where the comedians talk about themselves or their livelihood and their family. That's the kind of comedy I'm attracted to. I'm talking about the Arnez Jays. I'm talking about the Cedrics, the Entertainers. I'm talking about the Martin Lawrence. Run Tell That is my favorite freaking comedy stand-up special ever. Even Eddie Murphy isn't as controversial as a Paul Mooney or a Dave Chappelle. And so for me, I'm like, when did this become comedy? Why can't it be called political satire or political comedy or something, or I'm about to offend your ass comedy? Why can't it just be called something else? I don't know, because to me, like I told you, if a lot of definitions are left up to interpretation, like the definition of a woman is left up to interpretation, to me, comedy is left up to interpretation too. And I would not call Dave Chappelle's special comedy. So what would you call it? I would call it an exclusive Netflix special. That's exactly what I would call it. But that's not comedy to me. There's not one moment that I laughed like, yeah. it was just like, oh damn. The whole thing was, oh damn. That's what
it was very thought provoking. Okay, so are we gonna go? Are we going there? Are we segueing?
So yeah, we are. But I do want you to round. I do want you to round off that thought process first before we segue into the trans. When did comedy become Dave Chappelle, or it's always been for you?
Well, I won't say it's always been for me because I like comedy, but I haven't like followed comedy like close enough to say like the history of comedy. I'm just gonna tell you about what I know about comedy, right? So we all know about the late great Richard Pryor. He's had controversial topics. We know that Bill Cosby was less controversial. He was more talking about his family and things of that nature, and he was very much against using profanity. Then you have people like Sinbad, really, pretty funny too. I like Sinbad growing up. Of course, Eddie Murphy. I mean, he's one of the GOATs. And Martin Lawrence, Run Tell That. When he mentioned Run Tell That, I was like, oh yeah, that was like one of the best specials.
And water was glistening all over your body. What?
I mean, come on, now, like, who don't remember that line? But of course, everybody's gonna always remember, Eddie Murphy in that purple leather suit that he had on, and things of that nature. So I have seen, several, but I don't want to make it seem like I know everything about the history of comedy. I'm not gonna try. But there have been controversial people, like I believe Dick Gregory, an older comic. I don't know if he passed, but he was coming out in the era of Bill Cosby, and he was a stand-up comedian as well, and then he ended up becoming completely political. He stopped doing his comedy and just came straight out and was straight political. There's a white comic, I can't think of his name right now, but he's pretty controversial too. And he has gray hair and he wears it in a ponytail. I can't think of his name right now. I want to say his name is George, but I can't remember. Anyways, he's a pretty controversial comic as well. And he does a lot of political type controversial things. And then you got Bill Maher. I mean, he has his own show that's a political comic. Okay. So there's a lot of people that will come up with controversial topics and put it in your face. There's only certain people that can do that, and Dave Chappelle, he didn't start out that way because you really can't. You kind of have to make a name for yourself, build yourself up to a platform to where he's able to do it, and he can say some controversial topics. Chris Rock can do it too if he wanted to, because he's pretty big himself. If he wanted to, but I don't really think of him as doing too many controversial things, but he could, because he's just that big. And I think now he's able to push more of a message and say what's a little bit more on his mind, and things that he sees right now is what's going on. Only certain people can talk about that, and he's just one of them. Okay.
So, I thought the bit about him fighting the lesbian girl at the club was funny. I thought that was hilarious to me. Not like ha 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 ha, but it was funny. I was like, yeah, he's stupid. Like, he's so dumb. But then we get to the concept of gender being a fact. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! Miss Harry Potter, the writer herself, apparently was canceled. I didn't know she was canceled.
I didn't know she was canceled.
I didn't know that. I don't hear much about her, but I just didn't know she was canceled. I never thought that it was a thing. Like, I didn't see everybody talking about it like they talk about the baby. But segueing into the thing about trans, he made a very poignant point to me. Dave Chappelle, he made a lot of points, whether it went over your head or through your head or whatever. He made a lot of points. But it was, how are we, the world, it seems, up in arms about what this black man said on stage, but we not up in arms about this black man killing somebody in Walmart. I don't understand that. I don't get that. How is his career just about over, it seemed, or on pause, or on a hiatus? But here we got Tory Lanez apparently shooting Megs Thee Stallion in the foot. Ain't nobody canceling him.
Talk about that.
We got the baby shooting people and killing people at Walmart. Ain't nobody canceling.
Well, I could talk about that. So come to find out, right? That was a self-defense thing. That's the reason why. Well, it was self-defense.
Because I heard some things about that. The controversy behind him not getting the real, like him quite silencing whoever was with this man or whatever. Allegedly, silencing whoever was with these people and paying people off and so that the real story doesn't get out, and so that the story is it was self-defense. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Well, we can leave that
allegedly.
Keep going. So right now, allegedly, it was self-defense. Keep going.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, how do we get to a point where just because somebody says something, they're canceled? But people are out here killing left and right and still living and having a fruitful life. I don't understand that. So that was a strong point that Dave Chappelle made, segued into the story of Daphne. I thought, if not anything, the story of Daphne coming out of this, I felt something from that. There was feeling involved with that. It was sincere. I was like, okay, cool. And at the end of it, I felt like he was talking about someone that he knew, that he had a relationship with, and that was how they communicated with each other. On top of that, he added his jokes about the concepts that we're dealing with now. And why is it so important when we got people out here killing left and right, when we still dealing with racism, but because gay people feel some sort of way, or because trans feel some sort of way, the world stops. And we still have issues with fighting racism, blatant racism. And so for me, that's how I walk away from understanding or trying to decipher what it is that he was trying to do. Was he rude about it? I think he was. Was he not nice about it? I don't think he was nice at all. Was he offensive potentially about it? Yeah, because clearly a lot of y'all, some of y'all walked away offended. And I'm not going to tell y'all how to feel, but I say that I hope that the trans people heard the Daphne story and understood the Daphne story. That's what I hope.
Okay, so I'm thinking. Oh, am I okay?
Go.
Okay. So I'm thinking that the transgender topics that he said, and then he segued into the Daphne story. I feel like some people, or all transgender people, before you get upset about these sound bites and these little clips that you see on social media or wherever you see it at, please watch the entire special to understand exactly what was said, because things can be misconstrued by a clip or a snippet of something, and if you don't have the context, you're going to miss it. He started out with a story about how he was being canceled, or there was something that he said in a previous special or a previous stand-up set that he did, that some transgender people in that community was really upset at him for something that was not exactly what he said. He said something that was misconstrued, and somebody else took what he said to be something else, and that's what they were mad about. But if you didn't hear the actual sentence and the context and the whole special or whatever, what have you, then you're not going to really know exactly what was said. And sometimes I feel like egg is on your face if you don't take the time to really know what you're upset about. Because if you're upset about this one little snippet clip, and I'm not saying not to feel some type of way about it, but I say just go through the whole special, because he explained from the beginning when he started talking about transgender people or those topics and made different references. He said that specifically, like, I really didn't say this, that, or other. I actually don't. He doesn't have a problem with the trans people. He doesn't have a problem with LGBTQ. He thinks there's something funny about every every faction of life, because he literally talked about women, he talked about different types of men, he talked about LGBTQ plus people. So it's not like he only went after trans people. No, he went in on everybody. So I looked at those things of the things that he said. I felt like he was saying, hey, before you try to cancel someone, please pay attention to what was actually said, right? Here go an example. I'm gonna just bring something about what happened personally with ACTV, right? So there was something that someone said on a different show, right? And Wes looked at what was said on the different show and heard some reviews from what was said on this reality TV show. Heard some reviews from some other person, and that person from a review misconstrued or didn't exactly say the statement what was said on the show, but had his own take and spin on what it was. Made you feeling a little way about it, but he didn't say the exact thing that was said on this reality show, which made him upset. And I said, well, you can't be upset at what people perceive what was said. You gotta be upset if he actually said that, which he didn't. And he was like, well, no, I heard him say that. I said, no, go back and rewatch it. He did. And he was like, well, he didn't exactly say that, but like he gave me a video. Trust me, I'm getting it to the point. He gave me a video about this transgender thing, right? That this controversy with Dave Chappelle, right? And the video basically was saying it's not about your intent, it's about the effect of what happened, right? But sometimes and this is where I feel like sometimes, and especially in that story as well, about the thing that happened on a reality TV show, and then someone taking it and kind of spinning what he said, and now you're affected by what was said on this one platform, but the original statement was something that wasn't said. It was something totally different. And that's the way I look at this situation. If it's not about the intent and it's about what he really said, then look at what he really said and not what the outcome is. He can't be responsible for what the outcome came out to be. He can't be responsible for what somebody else took for what he said. You have to be responsible for what you said. So if I said, the sky is blue, and somebody said, I heard you say the sky was green. Oh, Adrian said the sky was green. I can't believe Adrian said the sky was green. And I actually said the sky was blue. How can I be responsible for what somebody else mistook what I said? You can't. And that's the way I look at with the special. He, to me, and I'm not trans and I get it, maybe I'm not going to be sensitive to what was said because I'm not in that community. I get it. But if you really paid attention to the words that came out of his mouth, the context, and seen the whole thing, maybe you wouldn't be as up in arms. I'm not saying that you can't feel a way, but maybe you wouldn't be if you paid attention to the whole show.
I think the first shot fired was that gender is a fact. That was the first shot fired, and I feel like he's coming from he's speaking from his perspective as a straight cisgender man that doesn't necessarily understand or care to understand or care about this he, she, they, them, now, whatever kind of situation. He's like, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. That's it. That's all he here for. If you call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, all right. But he ain't looking at you like that. He gonna look at you like man or woman. Okay, boom. If I see you, I'm gonna shake your hand or whatever. But I'm not really looking at you the way you think you are. I'm not looking at you like that. And I think that was the first shot fired when he made the statement that gender is a fact. As soon as he said that, I said, okay, this is about to go all the way left. And so automatically I feel like when you, and this is me playing devil advocate because I ain't trans. So, but when you immediately tell me you don't give a fuck about me, then we are already having problems. Because now it's like, okay, what you about to say now? And so it's like, when he said that immediate that immediate thing, because that's the whole premise on trans. Well, for me, this is how I feel about it. That's the whole premise on the transgender anyway, which is why I read the definition of what a woman is, because it's all left up to interpretation by Merriam-Webster. But according to Dave Chappelle, baby, you a man or you a woman, period. And so a lot of trans don't believe that. So they feel like if they was born a man, that they a woman. You know what I'm saying? And Dave Chappelle ain't hearing that. And a lot of straight people ain't hearing that either. Especially a lot of women. You can't, because women go through what they go through in America, you ain't gonna be able to tell a woman that you're a woman if you not a woman in her eyes or if Dave Chappelle eyes. So at the end of the day, I think that's what some trans people are fighting for, is the respect or the acknowledgement of their existence. But what a lot of people do is they say, okay, you're real because you're breathing the same air I am. And then they push you aside and they say, but you still ain't me and will never be me. And so that's the thing, like that's the energy that people are always, well, not always gonna give, but that's the energy I got from Dave Chappelle when he immediately said that gender is a fact. So any comedy that comes from him, quote unquote comedy, because I don't think it's comedy, anything that comes out of his mouth is automatically telling me that he ain't really respecting what I view myself as and what I am, because he already telling me that gender is a fact. And so I'm sitting here telling you that I believe that I'm a woman and I feel like I'm a woman and I whatever, but you telling me no, you're not. But I'll accept you because we have to, but no, you're not.
Okay, so
that's how I feel about that.
Okay, with that, let's go with that.
Okay.
Why does that offend you so much? Why is that an issue for you so much? Because it shouldn't matter. I really feel like, like a lot of people is going to think whatever they going to think anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So why does it matter to you if I don't accept you as being a woman, if I feel like you're not a biological woman, but I say, hey girl, hey sis, or whatever you want to, I got your pronouns down. Hey girl, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, sis? Oh, that's a woman over there. And then I still think in my head, you're not an actual woman. You're a person that that you modified your body to and took hormones to try to become a woman. Now, all you transgender people, look, let me tell you this right now. I don't have a problem with you transitioning to whatever gender you want to be. But I don't think that you should try to convince people or want people to be convicted in your belief. That's not fair. Just like we have separation of church and state, we should have separation of what your convictions are in your head versus somebody else's conviction in their head. You want people to respect you and your beliefs, respect other people's beliefs. Because if their beliefs doesn't align with yours, can we just agree to disagree? Because why does it matter if I don't really believe you are really a real woman or not? Long as I called you, if I was respectful, I ain't never been rude or disrespectful to you. Hey sis, hi girl, hey, that's a lady over there. Ma'am, could you come over here and sit down please? I mean, what's the problem? Long as I'm treating you such.
So a lot of straight people, right? Because I'm gay, so I can talk about straight people because I've dealt with the straight experience. So a lot of straight people seem to never equate the same between race and sexual orientation. But I think it was very important and very a light bulb in my mind, and hopefully a lot of others, that Dave Chappelle equated the two in his special, his Netflix exclusive special, because it wasn't comedy to me. So in his special, he equated the civil rights movement to what's happening with gays. And that's going to be my point in hearing this and what we're conversing about now, is where black people can want to feel accepted and want to be able to move wherever they want to move and exist in whatever space they want to exist in, ride the bus without having to sit in the back. All that stuff that we fought for, we want respect and acceptance and all of that. To me, I don't want to be in nobody's house if they're racist. I don't want to be in nobody's house if they're racist. So for me, I damn sure don't want to be in nobody's house if you don't respect me and the fact that I'm gay or have so much disdain for homosexual people. I damn for sure don't want to be in your house, nor do I want to support your business in any way, shape, or form. And so for me, I could feel like if you don't respect anything about me because I'm trans, or think that how I feel is null and void because how you feel is your fact and da 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 da, then yeah, I don't want to be around you either. So I can understand on all three, well, the two, because I'm a part of the two, black and gay, and I can get it on trans because Dave Chappelle just put the whole thing on an equal playing field. So just imagine you as a black woman walk into an event and you the only black woman there. Automatically, there can be an air of like, oh, Jesus, child, I got to deal with this shit. Because that's just the world that we live in. And now, because you are the only black woman in this all-white woman event, y'all still a women, but you're the black one. And so now all these women looking at you like, sizing you up, like, okay, what you got? I bet you she can't speak well. She's not articulate. Let's see what the fuck does she have a degree? She probably got 9 kids. You know what I'm saying? They automatically sizing you up. Don't nobody want to go through that. And then they'll accept you into the house because you made it to the club, but they ain't here for you because you black. So it's the same thing is what I'm saying. And I could vibe with the trans possibly feeling like that. I'm not saying how y'all think, but I could vibe with that because I don't want to work for Chick-fil-A if Chick-fil-A don't like gay people. You know what I'm saying?
But that doesn't mean that you're not like, just because we're saying
or respect it or feel like I'm the bottom of the barrel.
That doesn't mean that wasn't the scenario. The scenario was, hi, I'm gonna respect you as who you want to be, but in my mind frame, I may not believe that you're an actual female, because you can never be. Now, I don't care how much modification, I don't care how much hormones, you cannot be something you're not biologically are. You just can't. There are, and I'm going to bring back the point I brought up before. No matter how much you want to be a reptile, it was this guy that wanted to be a reptile. He split his tongue. He did some body modifications, put some things in his eyes. He got tattooed for scales and things of that nature. He want to be living his life as a lizard. Can he ever possibly be a lizard?
Let's look it up. Go ahead, keep talking.
He cannot. I don't care how much body modification that you can put on yourself or whatever you decide to do. You are a human being, and yeah, okay, they say, well, that's different species of gender can be fluid. I don't know about that. The only time that it's fluid is when you are formulating in your mother's womb, because you don't know if you're a female or male yet, because we all end up being the same thing when we're that zygote turning into that embryo and turning into that baby. Okay, so in that time, zygote, embryo, that's when we don't know, that's when you're genderless. And then you become a gender when you know, a little bit further along, and as a baby grows in that uterus. That is the time that happens. So unfortunately, and I'm not saying that just because I don't think biologically you are whatever the gender you want to be, if it's the other gender, does not mean that that I don't respect you. You can be respected. I respect you as a human being. I think you are awesome, female or male. It doesn't matter.
So maybe saying a racist is not the same thing as what you're calling yourself, because you're saying you're not trying to take away power over someone that's trans or discriminate against someone that's trans because they are trans. You're just saying in your mind, a woman is a woman is a woman.
I'm saying in my mind, in my way of thinking, that I will respect you as whatever it is that you want to be. I can say, hey girl, how you doing? Or hey man, or whatever it is. I will give you your pronouns. Hey, how you doing? Da da da. Right? You want to be a man or you want to be a woman, whichever. I don't care. If that's what you want to be, great. How you doing? I would treat you as such. I will treat you as such. Would I really believe you are that? No, but you can't change my belief system. You will not change what I really truly believe. That doesn't mean I disrespect you. That doesn't mean that I don't feel like you should have all the things that humans should have in life. You know what I mean? I don't feel like you should be subservient to anybody. I say, get your bag, sis, get your bag, man, do what you want to do in life. I don't care what you want to do in life. But will I think of you as a biological man or a biological woman? No. If you came into this world and your gender assignment was a female or a male, that's what I think that you are. If you come in as intersex and you got both, hermaphrodite, intersex, whatever the terminology is these days, I think that's the third gender. That's it. I'm just like really black and white with it. I mean, if you change yourself, transition yourself to be a different gender, more power to you. I'm probably ask a couple of questions.
You would just always call that person trans woman, not woman.
You're right. Yes.
Okay.
you trans woman, trans man. Yes. That's okay. A woman over. I don't have a problem with saying, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" or whatever. Like, okay, I met a trans woman a long time ago when I was in college, and I'm not gonna say, "Hi, trans woman." No, hey, oh, that's a woman over there. I would say that's a woman. If we're in a she, her, I would do all of that. I'm not gonna say trans woman. That's a trans woman over there. Oh no, that's a woman over there. Oh, that's whatever her name is. Forgot her name. That's such and such. Cleo. Let's just say that's Cleo over there. I would never say that's a trans woman. But in my mind, I'll be like, yeah, that's a trans woman. In my mind, I'm not gonna, make it a big sign. It's a trans woman over here. No, like that's disrespectful. I don't feel like I'm trying to disrespect anybody. I don't feel like any trans woman or trans man that's around me I don't feel like they should feel disrespected any kind of way. But I don't feel that y'all should try to make all people believe in your conviction of being a opposite gender. Like, I just don't think if that's what you convicted of, great, and I'm happy for you. But you can't get me to be excuse me, sorry. That's like saying that that's like a religion debate. I believe in Buddha. Or I believe in Jesus Christ. Well, you gotta believe in Buddha. No, you need to believe in Jesus Christ. Like, don't be trying to, have me convicted of what your belief system is. If that's your belief system, be respectful.
My question to that is, could you? My question out to the world is, can you? If you believe, if you believe that the way someone lives their life is wrong or whatever, can you honestly respect them as a person? Like, if someone is a homophobe, can they honestly give me respect? If someone is a racist, can they honestly give a black person respect? Like, that's where my questioning comes in now. Because to be honest, I get it. Like, some people feel like men aren't supposed to be married, men shouldn't be having sex, whoop de whoop de whoop. And I'm having conflicting issues with my family on that belief. Like, they say they love me, but at the same time, it's like, I know how you feel about gay people, so where's the love really? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a part of me. I'm not all just gay. I'm not the gay guy over there, but that's a part of me. So, is your love really founded on something that's deep-rooted in something that I can feel if I know you already have these negative airwaves about people like me anyway? And so that's where the question comes up now. Y'all can leave that in the comments. I'm not really, fishing for responses, because at the end of the day, that's just how I feel about it. Like, I recently had this situation with my family, and, somebody in my family was going on a tirade about me being gay. And there was nothing nice that came out of the conversation. So then how do I walk away from that feeling loved by my family? How do I walk away from that feeling accepted or respected by my family when they tell me how they really feel about gay people and I'm a gay person? I just don't feel good about that. So if I'm constantly hearing negative, disparaging things about my people, there's no way that I could feel positive about what you're saying about me. I just don't, I just don't get that. And so for me, like, when he was saying things like he or she, like even the last line of the Daphne thing, he was like, I knew your father and she was a great person, or something like that. He said at the end. I was like, that's underhanded. I get why he did that and ha 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 and cute, but that's underhanded. Like, don't do that.
How is that underhanded?
It's underhanded. It's like a backwards compliment. It's like, okay, you want me to acknowledge you as this, but you're still this to me, and I'm telling you that you're still this to me. So when you say, I knew your father, she was a great person, that's not,
That's acknowledging, hold on.
I knew your father, she was a great person.
Because that person is transgender. I knew your father, meaning like Bruce, right? That's the Kardashian.
But he met Daphne. He met Daphne when she was transitioned already.
Right.
So she didn't know Daphne as a man. He knew Daphne as a woman.
And he said she. He gave the pronoun that she wants to be.
Don't say father.
But that's what he was.
But that's where it would be considered by some people underhanded, because you're being funny now. If I don't want to be presented or represented or quoted as something that I don't consider myself as, why waste your time in saying I knew your father? Just say I knew Daphne, she was a great person. Don't say I knew your father and then say she, because she was never a father to him. She was always a mother to him.
To the child?
No, to Dave Chappelle. No. So I feel like I get the fact that you're saying, but what I'm saying is it's just it's underhanded. Don't do that. So for me, when you speak to me, like when you say, and I can't equate the two, like I can't equate that specific situation to like gay stuff, but like I just can't equate it to a gay situation. But there are so many moments where like you're gay and you're just like, or when people say no homo to me, okay. And when people say, oh yeah, da da da, but no homo, I don't need you to think that everything I'm saying is like a level of attraction to you because you're the same sex as me. Like I don't need that. To me that's underhanded. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that.
That I can see how that could be annoying. The no homo.
And so for me, it's just like, what's the point? If you're dealing with someone that wants to be acknowledged as a she, her, whatever, and you say, okay, that's cool. I get that that's what you want to be acknowledged at. Just leave it at that, or don't do that. Because don't put both in a sentence. That's rude. Like if you change your name to Erica and you're like, oh, Erica is cool. Yeah, Adrian is yeah, I like Adrian too. Like, what's the point in that?
I'm trying to get there with you. I'm thinking I'm understanding, but from what I can tell, and I can only reference from what I see on TV, is like Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner. So I'm gonna say Caitlyn. Caitlyn said that Caitlyn said, I know I'm about to get tripped up, y'all. Caitlyn said that she still wants to be considered as the father. I'm their father.
Everybody's different.
I understand that, but because that's my only reference, that's what I'm saying. Because that's my only reference. Sorry, I have two references. Forgot her name, but she's
Flame Monroe.
Yes, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's not the poster child for trans people.
She's not no, she isn't. But I mean, everybody is different. Just like you said, everybody
we're not
is
monolithic.
Different.
No one knows.
So, nobody is monolithic,
especially black people.
Because he has a relationship or had a relationship with the comic that end up
right.
Maybe it would be okay for him to say
and I'm pretty sure
because he probably knows that
he said in that joke when she committed suicide that she was like, no man would have really done that. He said that, and he was like
no woman. He said no woman. He said no woman would have done that. He said that was some G shit.
That was okay. So the woman wouldn't have jumped off the thing. Whatever he said, it was and it took the audience by surprise. And he was like, she would have gotten that joke. She would have understood that joke.
Right.
So I get that. Everything's subjective. And the purpose of this video is to say, Dave Chappelle. That's how we gonna finish it off. We gonna both end the sentence of Dave Chappelle. So, dear Dave Chappelle.
Dear Dave Chappelle.
I don't need to watch another one of your specials ever again. The reason being is because to me, you aren't a comedian that makes me laugh out loud.
Oh.
That's not what you are to me. You are an intelligent man that understands what the world is going through, and you have the ability and the power to make comments on what the world is going through. And I acknowledge that as someone that is very important in the community and that's able for, as a black man, to make $60 million off of 3 videos. I congratulate you. I salute you. But my challenge to you, if you ever come out with another special, is to do something different. And for me, it would become comedy if we're in the vein or the realm of the Arnez Jays, the old greats to me in my book, the Martin Lawrences, that's the S'mores. That's the comedy that I like. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I don't have to watch another his special, which I said that I'm not going to. But yeah, that's my Dave Chappelle. I'm not mad at you. I just don't see his special as being a comedy special because it didn't make me laugh out loud. It was more or less like, oh damn, he hurting somebody. Oh damn, I felt that. Oh shit, okay. And then that was it, you know? So that's my Dear Dave Chappelle. What's your Dear Dave Chappelle?
Dear Dave Chappelle, I think it was absolutely genius of you to bring up all these different controversial topics and spoke your truth and put your funny spin on what you thought that should be out there. I understood and got some of the messages. I felt at the end of your special, this last special, The Closer, it was more so like a mirror to the transgendered community, due to the fact that you had someone within that community try to defend you over another special that you had, and ended up being outed and ostracized of her own community, and they drove her to want to commit the actual act of suicide. And I seen that your special was more of a mirror. Like, how can you be so up in arms and so sensitive to these plethora of list of things, but you can't be so sensitive to your own people, your own person? They felt so bad and terrible to the point that they wanted to commit suicide. That's the message that I got off of your ending story. That's the message that I got. Not saying that everybody else got that message, but I hope if other people haven't seen your special, Dave, I hope and pray that they will look at your special before passing judgment. That's what I got from your special. And I say, keep doing what you're doing because you're a genius at it.
I think it's very important for us to adopt similar connections despite our differences. We both have watched the special. We could acknowledge, or I could acknowledge, what he attempted to do and what he has done for some people in terms of how they walked away having an open mind. But I also see the adverse side to it. Like people like Hope Giselle and a lot of other people said that it's not about the intention of behind his special. It was about the impact of his special and how what he said as a straight cisgender black man could perpetuate what other cisgender black men like Lil Boosie think about the trans community and or the LGBT community. And there are moments in our lives where we have to, or should, or it would be nice, let me say that, if we thought about the power that we do have before we decide to do something. And yeah, leave your comments below this video and let us know what you thought. At the same time, be respectful. Love you. Deuces. All right.
Ooh, we talked the whole hour, didn't we?
Yeah, that felt like it.
It felt like it.
I know. Y'all not about to think about not subscribing to aconnectiontv.com. Copyrighted.